center. Rachel Branton Wright at third base. Maddie Holly, that's Madison Roberts at shortstop. Daly Garland second. And, of course, Elizabeth Palumbo at first, and behind the plate, Lauren Hill. And there you look at Haley Cotter, 8-1, 2.15 ERA, 15 walks, 28 strikeouts. Had a great performance in that first game yesterday against Mid-American Nazarene. Went all the way there. Did a great job there. Allowed just the 2 runs. That came in the second inning. And kept the hitters off balance there. And really got a lot better as the third inning went on there. Had a great visit with her right before the game there. So it's Caitlin Cook, no homers, 2 RBIs there. Even though it was scheduled for 3 o'clock, but we're starting way early. Why not? First game, she went 1 for 3. Haley Cotter getting the sign and the first pitch. Just past Lauren Hill there. That came at 2:34 p.m. Temperature around 60 degrees. The time and temperature sponsored by the Parking Spot. Easy to spot, easy to park. The Parking Spot, Kemp's International Airport. 1-0 to count. The 1-0. 2-0 there. Central Methodist 19-4, 3-0 in the conference. Graceland 9-18, 2-1 in the conference. They could be in a tie with Park and a few others, depending on how the conference, and how the rest of the conference is looking there as well. Park is 4-0, and I think they were off there. Of course, I knew they play Mid-Am on Friday. 3-0 pitch. And that's ball 4 there. So, a leadoff walker. Here's Jada Gay. 1 homer, 16 RBIs. In the first game, went 0 for 3. First pitch. Ball. There goes the runner. The throw to second. Not in time. So 1-0 to count. That'll be a pass ball. One and 0 to count. 1-0 pitch. It's the ground ball to Maddie Holly. Checks the runner, throws the Palumbo, and they got her. And then hustling in the third is Caitlin Cook for out number 1 there. And here is Sammy Bradshaw. Homers, 15 RBIs. Bradshaw went 0 for 1. First pitch. Bradshaw tries the old squeeze play. And I believe that's a ball. She held her bat back. Held it back in time. Ball 1. 1-0 to count. Katie Vandymark on deck. The 1-0. 2-0 to count. 2 balls and no strike. Haley Cook just needs to talk to the softball. Two balls and no strikes. 2-0 pitch. 3-0 to count. I tell you one thing, Lauren Hill is directing traffic. Like the great Johnny Bench used to do that a lot. Coach Reardon wants an explanation there as well. Well, you know, one thing I'll tell you this. Well, Thursday we got Major League Baseball's opening day starting at 2 o'clock. The Milwaukee Brewers take on the New York Yankees. 3 o'clock. The Kansas City Royals take on the Cleveland Guardians. There as well. Also at 3 p.m., the St. Louis Cardinals take on the Minnesota Twins. There as well. 6 o'clock, the Detroit Tigers take on the defending World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers from 1000 Vin Scully Drive at Dodger Stadium there as well. Our first Sunday night game comes a week from today. The Atlanta Braves take on the San Diego Padres. Coverage starts at next Sunday with baseball tonight. ESPN begins its 36th season of Major League Baseball, most likely on Sunday nights. Well, they changed the call to 2-1 now. Sunday night, I always remember growing up there watching the Sunday night. There used to be a guy named John Miller. Joel Morgan was on the call there, and then Oral Hershiser. Yeah, it's 3-0 to count. Sammy Bradshaw, runner at third, 1 out. Here's the 3-0. Now it's ball 4 there. So now first and third. Katie Vandermark, homer, 12 RBIs there. Went 1 for 2 with the single in the first game of our doubleheader. After the conference there, Vandermark is the batter. First pitch. Kind of gets away there. There goes the runner trying to steal, and she scores. That would be a pass ball there. Everyone moves a base there. So 1-0 lead for Graceland. No RBI recorded. Oh, they called it a strike. 0-1 to count. Outside, 1-1 now. So 1-0 lead for Graceland on the pass ball. 1-1 to count. The 1-1. Fouls it off. 1-2. One and two now. One-two pitch. Chopper right to Cotter. Boy, she read it perfectly. Throws over the first for out number 2. So 2 outs now for Charlie Peters. No homers, 9 RBIs on the year. Went 1 for 1 with a single. First pitch. Hits a high pop foul there, and that's a strike. 0-1 now. Oh and 1 to count. The 0-1. Ball 1-1 now. 1-0 to count. Actually, 1-1 to count there. Charlie Peters, the 1-1. Lines a shy, but Roberts makes the play look easy. So 1 run on no hits, no errors, 1 left. We head to the bottom of the first inning. It is no score, but we'll go ahead and set the defense for you. As well, sponsored by Casey's. In left field, that's Paige Pila. In center field there. I believe out in center field is Charlie Peters out in center. Of course, the right fielder looks like is Candace Winglars. Out in the infield, that's number 31, Braylon Whitham. Out at shortstop there, that's Jada Gay. Caitlin Cook is at second base. The first baseman it is Mallory McKinney, and then today's starting pitcher is Sammy Bradshaw, 5 and 6, 2.32 ERA, 9 walks and 131 strikes. That pretty much leads the conference there in strikeouts as Joey Kreider comes to bat. In the first game, went 2 for 3, a homer and 2 RBIs. This year, 5 homers, 25 RBIs. First pitch. There's a strike call, 0-1 now. Central Methodist won the first game, 8-0 on an 8-run roll in the fifth. Slaps to the third. First baseman has it, throw the first. Nice! Oh, that'll be an error right there. Well, it was a great job there, but couldn't stay on the bag. That'll be an error on the first baseman. There's Elizabeth Palumbo, 5 homers, 29 RBIs. Went 0 for 3. Of course, had a great visit with her mom, Suzanne, and along with that pet dog of theirs. And now the coach wants an explanation there. They were talking about maybe if her foot was slipped off the base as well, so it's an error. And now Palumbo takes a strike call. 0-1 now. On deck is Madison Roberts. 0-1 the count. The 0-1. That's a bit high, and the count is 1-1. Why happy with game 2, as Vin Scully say, let's pull up a chair then. Pull up a chair. 1-1 now. 1-1. Slaps it. Foul. 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 the count. 1-2 pitch. That's a high inside. 2-2 now. 2-2 now. 2-2. Slaps that one foul. 2-2. 2-2 the count. 1-2 pitch. Slaps it foul. Boy, came with an eyelash to making it a double. I believe the count's 2-2 there. On Elizabeth Palumbo. 2-2. Slaps that one foul. Boy, I tell you one thing. She's just getting some good at-bats there. No question about it. She's working the pitchers there. That's what I always like. Here's the pitch. Another foul ball there. Just to increase the tension of the pitcher. As Vin Scully used to say it. Yeah, it is 2-2. 2-2. Here's a little slapper to the third and fired for a base hit. So first and second now. Morgan Wilson coaching at first. And of course, Pat Reardon coaching at third. Madison Roberts at third. 5 homers, 16 RBI. Went 3 for 3. A homer, double, and a single. And lays on a beautiful bunt there. Throws over there to second, and it's a sac bunt. 1-4 on your scorecard. In that first game, if she had one more at bat in that first game, she was a triple away for the cycle. And now here's Maddie Holly up there. 1 homer, 19 RBIs. And there's a strike call. Holly in that first game went 0 for 2 with a walk. The 0-1 now, and that's a ball there. 1-1 now. One and one to count. The 1-1 with second and third. Fouls it off. 1-2 now. Cryers at third on the air, and then Palumbo at second. Single, and then moved to second on the bunt by Madison Roberts. 1-2 to count. Puts it in play to the third baseman. Checks that runner. Throws the first, and there's 2 outs. So 2 outs now for Casey Jolly. 3 homers, 17 RBIs. Went 0 for 3 in the first game of our doubleheader. Second and third. 1-0 lead for Graceland in the pitch. Slaps it. That's a foul ball. 0-1 now. Oh, and 1 to count. Second and third, 2 outs. The 0-1. Lines a shot in the left field, and the left fielder makes the basket catch for the third out. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left. We head to the top of the second inning. Graceland 1, Central Methodist nothing. One run, 0 hits, and an error for Graceland. No runs, 1 hit, and no errors for Central Methodist. As Alea Farrell comes to bat, no homers, 7 RBIs. Went 0 for 2 in the first game of our doubleheader. First pitch coming up. There's a strike call. 0-1 now. No balls and 1 strike. The 0-1 now. Lines a shot. There's a grounder to Roberts. Throws to Palumbo, and there's out number 1 there. Here's Mallory McKinney up the bat. 154 hitter, no homers, 2 RBIs. From the beautiful town of Knoxville, Iowa. Here's a grounder right to Cotter. Throws to Palumbo, and there's out number 2. 2 quick outs now for their third baseman. That is Braylon Woodham. No homers, 3 RBIs. Went 0 for 2 in the first game of our doubleheader there. First pitch. Ball 1 there. 1-0 the count. Paige Pilot on deck. 1-0 lead for Graceland. Scored on the pass ball. 1-0 to count. 1-0 pitch. Fouls it off. And the count is 1-1. 1-1 now. Infield and outfield about normal. 1-1 pitch. Hits the ground ball. That's a foul ball. 1-2 there. 1-2 the count. 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off there. One and two the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. A beautiful pitch in there. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. Goes Graceland. We head to the bottom of the second. 1-0 lead for Graceland. Oh, shoot, oh, it's going. Oh, it sounds. What is this thing? One run, 0 hits and an error for Graceland. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for Central Methodist. As Lauren Hill comes up at 2 homers, 16 RBIs. Went 1 for 3 with a single in that first game with a doubleheader. First pitch. There's a strike call. 0-1 in the count. On 1 now on Lauren Hill. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 0-2 the count. Oh and 2 the count. 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off there. 0-2. 0-2 the count. What noise from the catbird seat? 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 called. So 1 out now. Here is Rachel Brandt. No homers, 10 RBIs there. Actually, went 2 RBIs in the first game of our doubleheader. Went 1 for 2 with a double, all with the walk and 2 RBIs. Strike call. Oh and 1 to count. 0-1 pitch. Ground ball to the pitcher. Throws the first. Out number 2. And here's Michaela Albert. No homers, 5 RBIs. In the first game, went 2 for 3 with 2 singles and an RBI. First pitch. Lines it. Ho-ho! What a catch! Or as Kurt Gowdy used to say on NBC television, she just came from another world. A 1-2-3 inning. We go to the top of the third. 1-0 lead for Graceland. Of course, you know, Thursday is opening. I can remember some of the best moments on opening day. Bob Feller threw a no-hitter on opening day. How about April 4th, 1974? Hank Aaron hit home run number 714 off Jack Billingham of the Cincinnati Reds. And then 4 days later, became baseball's all-time home run king with 715 off Al Downing there as well. Of course, Carlos Beltran won a home run against the White Sox back in 2004 for the Kansas City Royals. One run, no hits, and an error for Graceland. No runs, one hit, no errors for Central Methodist. There's Paige Pila, no homers, 2 RBIs. And the first game today went 0 for 2. First pitch. There's a strike call, 0-1 now. Of course, Tom Seaver started opening day baseball 19 times. From 1967 to 1985. It's the ground ball. And there's no play there. So it'll be an infield hit there. First hit of the game for Graceland. That was a tough little play there. And usually, like many of the coaches and managers just say, just hold the ball, hold the ball. So infield hit. Here is Caitlin Cook. Drew a walk her first time up. And the first pitch. Slaps it to Roberts. They'll go to second for 1, and that's all they can get. They get the lead runner, and there's out number 1. Fielder's choice. And now here is Jada Gay. Grounded out to Maddie Holly, her first time up. First pitch, a swing and a miss. Strike 1. 0-1 to count. Oh and 1 to count. The 0-1. Tries to bunt, but held it back, and the count is 1-1 there. One and 1 to count. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 pitch. Tries to bunt. I think, did she go? I believe so. Yeah, they're going to call it a strike. 1-2 now. I think there was no question about it. She was trying to bunt. Did not held up in time, so the count is 1-2. Cook is at first on the fielder's choice. Haley Cotter going to the pitching sign. 1-2 pitch. Did she hold up? I believe so. Did not hold up in time. 2-2. 2-2 the count. 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off there. Boy, you can just barely hear it from the press box. 2-2 the count. Two-two pitch. It's a little looper. Roberts makes a play, boy, she patrols shortstop like Ozzie Smith used to do that a lot for the Cardinals. And there's 2 outs now for Sammy Bradshaw, who walked her first time up. The first pitch. Little chopper to Cotter. Throws to Palumbo for the 3rd out. So no runs on 1 hit. No errors and 1 left. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Central Graceland 1, Central Methodist nothing. 1 run, 1 hit, and an error for Graceland. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for Central Methodist. It's Daly Garland that comes up there. 2 homers, 22 RBIs. In the first game today, went 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs, and that RBI single in that 5th inning, game 1, and that gave Central Methodist the 8-0 victory there. Of course, I had a great visit with her family, her mom, Alicia, her dad, Gary, and her along with her grandpa. First pitch. There's a strike call from Woodridge, Illinois, around the Chicago area. One of my favorite shows that ever took place there, the Bob Newhart Show. They had a guy named Bob Newhart, was a psychologist, worked in the building along with an orthodontist named Jerry Robinson. Strike 2 call. And the best one I like is when Jerry Robinson came to work and he was in a foul mood and he took his anger out on Carol Kester, who was the receptionist. Fouls it off there. And then a few minutes later, they had a pitcher named Phil Bender came in to see Bob Newhart, and he first pitched that night, won the game, and then was interviewed and mentioned Bob Newhart's name on television. 0-2 pitch, that's outside there, 1-2 now. One and two to count. Little ground ball to second base. Throws the firster, out number 1. Here's Joe Kreider. Reached on an error her first time up when the first baseman went off the bag there on the throw from third. Slaps that one foul. Strike 1. On 1 to count. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 0-2 to count on Joey Kreider. Oh, 2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 call. So 2 quick outs now for Elizabeth Palumbo. Has the only hit so far on a single to left in the first inning. First pitch. There's a strike call. 0-1 now. On 1 to count. 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1-1 with Madison Roberts on deck. If you remember in that first game, Roberts was a triple away from the cycle. 1-1 to count. That's up at high, and the count is 2-1 now. 2 balls and 1 strike on Elizabeth Palumbo. 2-1 pitch. Fouls it off to the screen, and it's 2-2. 2's across the board, as Snoop Dogg used to say on the Joker's Wild. 2-2 the count. 2-2 pitch. Hits a high looper in there. That's a base hit. She has 2 hits already. And now here's Madison Roberts. Drew a sac bunt her first time up. So Roberts has sac bunt. Palumbo at first. Tries the bunt again. That's a ball inside. Trying to show the bunt and held back for a ball. Palumbo's a pretty good runner there. Could score from first on the double. So 1-0. Outside, 2-0. Roberts had an inside the park home run in that first game of our doubleheader. That came in the 3rd inning. Could she do it again? 2 fouls that one off, and the count is 2-1 now. Maddie Holly on deck. Couple of new softballs in there. 2-1 pitch. Lines it. Oh, what a catch by the shortstop for the third out. So no runs on one hit, no errors, and one left. We head to the top of the fourth inning. It is 1-0 lead for Graceland on the Art Conference Network. Let's see here. Which pins there? One run, one hit, and an error for Graceland. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors for Central Methodist. Katie Vandermark grounded out to Haley Cotter, her first time up. First pitch. Ball 1 outside, 1-0 to count. One ball, no strikes. The 1-0 pitch. Ground ball to Roberts. Has it. Throws over to Palumbo. Yes, good play. What a play there by Palumbo. Keep it in front and make the play at first for out number 1. And now Carly Peters up there popped out. First pitch. Lines a shot into the gap in right center field. Peters is rounding first. She is thinking 2. She'll have it there with a double. Second hit of the game for Graceland. And now here's Aliyah Farrell, who grounded out to Madison Roberts her first time up. Aliyah Farrell. First pitch. Ball 1 there. The 1-0 pitch. Lines it right to Garland. Nice play. And out number 2 there on a looping liner. And now here's Madison. Here's Mallory McKinney. Grounded out to Haley Cotter. First pitch. There's a strike call. 0-1 now. No balls and 1 strike. The 0-1 now. Outside, 1-1 now. One and one to count. 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1 now. Braylon Woodham on deck. Two and one to count. 2-1 pitch. Lines it right to Carlin. Oh my! Right like a second base, like Joe Morgan used to do that a lot for the Cincinnati Reds. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We're halfway home. 1-0 lead for Graceland. 1 run, 2 hits, and an error for Graceland. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors for Central Methodist. Looks like that's Aaliyah Farrell playing first base there. There's Maddie Holly out there. Grounded out to third her first time up. Over 1,000 victories there. Now 1,005 for Pat Reardon. Round ball to the shortstop. Here's the throw. Safe! Great hustle by Maddie Holly. That was a bang-bang play. She hustled her way to first, and there's a single. And now here is Casey Jolly up there. Flew out to left her first time up there. That's Kayla Richardson from Greenwood, Arkansas, around the Little Rock area, which is where Joe Klein lives. Of course, played basketball at the University of Arkansas. Richardson is at first. That's a ball high. 1-0 the count with Lauren Hill on deck. Reed was a pretty good runner. If she can hit, Jolly can hit to the corners and left and right, that will score easily. Here's a ground ball there. Her only play is the first, and there's 1 out now. And then second is Greenwood for Lauren Hill, who struck out her first time up. $16 RBIs on the year. First pitch. There's a strike call. 0-1 to count. 1-0 lead for Graceland on the pass ball in the first inning. It's been a pitching duel, just like the greats of the pitching matchup. Bob Gibson and Sandy Koufax. If you go back to the 60s, and you go to the 70s, probably two of the best ones. You have Nolan Ryan and I believe Jim Palmer. That was always a fun one there. 2-1. Even though the strike, it was 1-2 now. Yeah, it looks like a foul ball there. Yeah, it is 1-2 on Lauren Hill. Greenwood Richardson sits second. The courtesy runner from Maddie Holly. 1-2. Little cue shot. There's out number 2, and hustling it back is Richardson. Here's Rachel Brandt, grounded out to the pitcher her first time up. Had always had a great visit with her. I remember just a few months ago we met at Emmett's, along with Maddie Holly and her family there on a Saturday on the way to the women's soccer game. 0-1 to count. 0-1. Strike 2. 1-2 now. 0-2 to count. Kayla Albert on deck. 0-2 to count. 1-0 lead for Graceland in the fourth inning. 0-2. Hits a little chopper off the glove. Stays with it. Throw the first. And there's the third out. So no runs on 1 hit. No errors. And they leave 1. We are through 4. Graceland 1. Central Methodist nothing. 1 run, 2 hits, and an error for Graceland. No runs, 3 hits, and no errors for Central Methodist. As Braylon Woodham. What a pitching matchup. I think the other ones back in the 80s, you have Nolan Ryan and Steve Carlton. At the time, they were 1-2 all-time in strikeouts, surpassing Walter Johnson since 1983. Boy, they were fun to watch on television when these two went at it. First pitch. That's a ball most notably in the 1980 National League Championship Series. 1-0 the count. The 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1 now. Top of the 5th inning. Boy, that game was moving along there. Of course, when that first game was done, we were done around 2:10 p.m. 1-1. Oh, nice job inside corner. 1-2 now. You look to the bottom of the 5th inning. You got Albert Garland Kreider. The 1-2. Oh, strike 3 called. There's 1 out now. And now here's Paige Pia, who singled her first time up. The first pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 0-1 the count there. 0-1 pitch. Lines a shot. Albert comes in and makes the catch for out number 2. And now here's Caitlin Cook, 0 for 1. Walked in the first and then reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd inning. Caitlin Cook up there. Looking for a 1-2-3 inning. First pitch. Fouls it off. Strike 1. Today's attendance, 42,410. Millions are watching on television across the world. Cox Softball Complex shivering with its concrete foundations. The 0-1. There's a strike called, and it's 0-2. Caitlin Cook from DeSoto, Kansas. 0-2 pitch. Ooh, outside. 1-2 now. One ball, 2 strikes. One, 2 pitch. That's up high, and the count is 2-2. Caitlin Cook. Where's the number 13? Two-two pitch. Chopper to Roberts. Throws the Palumbo, and they got her. Good play there. In a 1-2-3 inning goes Graceland. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is still 1-0 lead for Graceland. One run, 2 hits, and an error for Graceland. No runs, 3 hits, and no errors for Central Methodist. As Michaela Albert comes to bat. Lined out to third her first time up. Central Methodist had second and third and one out, but could not score. Had a runner in scoring position, but did not score in that fourth inning. There's a strike call to Albert. 0-1 to count on Michaela Albert. The 0-1 now. There's a strike call. 0-2 now. Central Methodist trying to go for win number 20. But most important number is 4-0 in the conference. Down 1-0 on a Sunday afternoon. The 0-2. Gets away from there. Albert hustles at the first, and it's a base. So it's a strikeout, and then catcher couldn't get the ball. So now you have a runner at first, and nobody out for Daly Garland, who grounded out to second her first time up. So first pitch to Garland, and there goes Albert. The throw not in time. A stolen base, and I believe the count is 1-0 there. Trying to get some speed on it first. So Albert is the tying run there. A base hit could tie the game up. Remember in that first game yesterday against Mid-American Nazarene, Daly Garland hit the home run that tied the game at 2. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's up high. 2-0 now. That really kind of swung the momentum in that fourth inning there. And then Central Methodist won that one 10-2. Could we see that happen again? 2-0 pitch. There's a strike. 2-1. 22 RBIs on the air for Daly Garland. 2-1 pitch. And it's a high pop up there. Right fielder calls for it. Oh, it's a foul ball. Foul ball. 2-2 the count. Looked like the right fielder maybe lost it out in the sun there, but you see Joey Kreider on deck. Oh, misses that one. 3-2 now. So 3-2 the count. 3-2. 3-2 pitch. Lines it. Foul. Boy. Came within an eyelash of tying the game. Couple of new softballs in play. Joey Kreider waits out on deck. Three and 2 the count. 3-2 pitch. Little chopper to the shortstop. Has it. Throw to the first. And there's out number 1. Throw to the third. She's in there. Good hustle there by Michaela Albert. So 1 out now. And the time runs at third for Joey Kreider, who's 0 for 2. Kreider up there, 5 homers, 25 RBIs. Now looks like the coach wants to go out there and have a little talk with them. Going over maybe the scouting reports, how to pitch to Joey Kreider, and of course Joey Kreider, Elizabeth Plumbo, and Michaela Albert all talk with Pat Reardon. Albert is at third. She struck out, but it was a wild pitch when the catcher couldn't hang on to the ball. Then she stole second, went to third on the ground out to short by Daly Garland. So with 1 out now, Kreider's at bat. Runner at third. There's a strike call. 0-1 now. 3, 4, 5. Yep. As I mark on game number 6,754. 0-1 to count. That's a bit high, and the count is 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Elizabeth Palumbo on deck. 1-1 pitch. 2-1 now. 2-1 to count. 2-1 pitch. Fouls it to the screen. 2-2. 2-2 to count on Joey Kreider. 2-2 pitch. Misses that one. 3-2 the count. Whitten Norris and the Catbirdsy. Hopefully we'll get to talk to Pat Reardon about 2 victories there. Preview the games with Clark on Saturday, and then next Sunday play Mount Mercy. That's ball 4 now. Now the runners are at the corners there. For Elizabeth Palumbo with 2 for 2 with 2 singles there. She has 2 of the 3 hits there. Now trying to figure out who she might see a courtesy runner there. Of course, the upcoming softball schedule is there. Of course, Saturday, they crowd Dubuque, Iowa take on Clark, 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Next Sunday, they'll take on Mount Mercy, 12-2. Then they'll play Missouri Valley on April the 2nd there. That's a 2 and 4 o'clock games there. Then they'll play Culver Stockton on April the 5th, 1 and 3. And then next home game, 2 weeks against Benedictine, 12:45 pregame show, 1 o'clock first pitch. It's a looper. Makes a sliding catch. They throw over to first. And there's out number 2. I tell you, Ozzie Smith has been known to do that a lot there. Take away base hits, mostly on sliding catches there. Here's Madison Roberts, 0 for 1. Sack button to first, lined out the shortstop. There's a strike, and Kreider, I think it's Richardson taking second next. Can't tell who that is from where I'm standing at. So second and third, the 0-1 now. I thought maybe Pat Ritter may pull the old double steal trick like they did in Game 7 in the 1964 World Series when Tim McCarver stole home. One and 1 to count. There's a strike, or the old double steal trick in Game 5 in the 1972 American League Championship Series when Reggie Jackson stole home and then later tore his hamstring. 1 and 2 to count. That's a bit high. 2 and 2 now. That's Kendall Miller out there at second. Base hit could bring you 2. 3 and 2 now. Maddie Holly on deck. Three balls and 2 strikes. 3-2. Hits the ground ball to the shortstop. Throw over the first, and they got her. So no runs on no hits, no errors, and they leave 2. We head to the top of the 6th inning. It is Graceland 1, Central Methodist nothing. One run, 2 hits, and an error for Graceland. No runs, 3 hits, and no errors for Central Methodist. That's Jada Gay up there, 0 for 2. Up for this 6th inning. 1-0 lead for Graceland on the pass ball in the 1st inning. Even though Central Methodist had a chance, 2nd and 3rd, but Roberts grounded out. First pitch. That's a ball, 1-0 to count in the bottom of the 6th inning. And if you look ahead to the bottom of the 6th for Central Methodist, Holly Jolly Hill. The 1-0 pitch. High pop up there. Let's see. I think that's Garland calls for. Oh, makes a catch there. Had to battle the sun and makes it for out number 1. There's Sammy Bradshaw. 0 for 1 there with a walk in the first. First pitch. Ground ball to Garland. Throws it to Palumbo. 2 quick outs. Katie Vaneymark up there. 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts. Grounded out to Cotter in the first, and then grounded out to Madison Roberts in the fourth. First pitch. Fouls it off. 0-1 now. I'm in the 6th inning. 1-0 lead there. Cotter's pitched well. 0-1 pitch is a ground ball to Roberts. Throws over to Palumbo for a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. A 1-0 lead for Graceland on the Hart Conference Network. One run, 2 hits, and an error for Graceland. No runs, 3 hits, and no errors for Central Methodist. As Maddie Holly out there, 1 for 2 with a single. First pitch to Holly. There's a strike call. 0-1 now. Casey Jolly and then Lauren Hill. The 1-1 pitch. That's a strike. 0-2 now. 0-2 the count. A little past 3:37. 0-2. Outside. 1-1. 1-2 the count. On Maddie Holly. One-two pitch. Little ground ball. Gets past the pitcher. Shortstop has the throw. They got her. Bang, bang play. And there's 1 out now. And now Casey Jolly up there 0 for 2. Flew out to left in the first. And then grounded out to second. First pitch. Looping line. There's a base hit there. Jolly's thinking 2. She's in there. And the tying runs at second. On a loop. On a double there. 4th hit of the game for Central Methodist. Now Lauren Hill up there 0 for 2. Struck out in the second. Popped the second in the 4th. First pitch. 0-1 the count there. 0-1 the count. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now on Lauren Hill with Rachel Brandt on deck. Base hit could tie this game up there. Hill regroups. 0-2. Little looper, and that's going to go foul into the Central Methodist bullpen area. Oh and 2. Little looper, that may go foul, and that's going to go into the Central Methodist bullpen area. What a pitching duel there. Kind of reminds me of back on 2000 when it was Pedro Martinez and Roger Clemens going at it on Sunday Night Baseball from Yankee Stadium on Memorial Day weekend. Little chopper, throw over the first. They got her. That was close, and there's 2 outs, and at third base is Casey Jolly. Now Rachel Brand up there, 0 for 2 with 2 ground outs to the pitcher. First pitch. Ground ball to second. Throw the first, and there's the third out. So no runs on 1 hit. No errors, 1 left. We head to the top of the 7th inning. It is still 1-0 lead for Graceland. Now, are you done this year, Sean? Now, what are you going to do after that? Where's that? Like back home or? Around here, probably. Around here?
Where's some good schools around here?
It's hard to say. Boonville usually one of the best. Want to know the count there? 1 run, 2 hits, and an error for Graceland. No runs, 4 hits, and no errors for Central Methodist. The 1-0 pitch. There's a strike, 1-1 the count. I don't know. 1-1 the count. 1-1 the count. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball for Roberts to Palumbo, and there's out number 1. Now, are you done this year, Christian? Or
Yes, sir.
what are you going to do after that?
Wherever you go. I wasn't certain, honestly, but I may come back here and coach.
There you go.
Yes,
As Elia Farrow up there, 0 for 2. Peters came into the bat 1 for 2 with a double. Ball 1 there. What sport you be coaching?
I coached them in.
One pitch. There's a strike call. 1 and 2. I'll tell you one thing. There's a lot of areas. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Out to the pitcher and then pop this Daly Garland. First pitch. There's strike call, 0-1. You know, there's some, like, all around, like, you go, like, I think 0-1 the count. Ball one there. There was, like, I think 1-1 the count. Outside, 2-1 there. Two balls and a strike. 2-1 to count. 2-1 pitch. Here's a ground ball to Palumbo. She'll take it herself for another 1, 2, 3 inning. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Still 1-0 lead for Graceland. One run, 2 hits, and an error for Graceland. No runs, 4 hits, and no errors for Central Methodist. Central Methodist needs 1 to tie and 2 to win. As Michaela out there after 0 for 2, popped to third, and then struck out but reached first when the catcher dropped the ball. Remember, Central Methodist had a runner, I think, second and third with 2 outs, couldn't score. Runner at third, and Brink rounded out. A lot of opportunities. Couldn't take advantage of it. And Sammy Bradshaw has done a great job. Came in there as the conference's leading strikeout pitcher, 131. 1-0 count. Swing and a miss, 1-1 now. The only run for Graceland was on a pass ball. That scored Caitlin Cook there in that first inning. 1-1 to count. Fouls it off, 1-2. Cox Softball Complex, shivering with its concrete foundations. One and two on Kayla Albert. 1-2 pitch. It's a high pop up there. First baseman calls for it. And she dropped it. She had to battle against the dugout there. At least it's not like better job of seeing it than what Jack Clark did in 1985 in Game 6 of 85 World Series, where he couldn't find the foul ball there. He had a hard time looking for it there. Swing and a miss, strike 3 call, so 1 out now for Daly Garland. 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts. Grounded to second and the third, and then grounded to short in the 5th. First pitch. Inside, 1-0 to count. 1 ball, no strikes. On Daly Garland. The 1-0. There's a strike. 1-1 now. One and one to count. 1-1. Out, foul ball, 1-2. One and two to count. 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Still 1-2. Joey Kreider on deck. 1-2 pitch. Little chopper fouled. 1-2 now on Daly Garland. Garland regroups. 1-2. 2-2 now. One and two, 2-2 the count. 2-2 pitch. Fair ball. Oh, it's a fair ball down to the corner. Garland's rounding first, and the time runs at second. Wow, that was a roper. Hit it on a rope, and now the time runs at second. So 5 hits now. Chelsea Gleaver is the courtesy runner. And now Kreider's the batter. So the time runs at second. There's Joe Kreider. And now time is called. Wow. It is. So the situation looks like this. Garland hit it pretty good. It went on the line there. Garland hustled the second, and Chelsea Glee was the courtesy runner. Kreider is 0 for 2. Reached on an error in the first, struck out in the third, walked in the fifth. There you see Palumbo, Kreider, and Gleaver all talking it over. Now they're heading back to the dugout there. Palumbo's on deck after the conference action on the mound for Graceland. The first pitch to Kreider. There's a strike call. 0-1 the count. Gleaver is the courtesy runner second. The 0-1 to Kreider. Lines a shot, but the shortstop is there for out number 2. So 2 outs now. Here's Elizabeth Palumbo. 2 for 3. 2 single. Single in the first. Single in the third. Lined out to short. First pitch. Here's a strike call, 0-1 now to Palumbo. Madison Roberts on deck. Gleaver's at second. The tying run. Here's the pitch. There's a strike call, 0-2 now. No balls and 2 strikes on Elizabeth Palumbo. The 0-2. A tie, 1-2, just to increase the tension. 1-2 the count. On Palumbo, base hit could tie it up. The 1-2. High pop up there, shortstop calls for it, and there's the ball game. The final score is Graceland 1, Central Methodist nothing. Gave you the final line numbers there. No run, 1 run, 2 hits, and an error for Graceland. No runs, 5 hits, 0 errors for Central Methodist. Of course, Graceland scored the only run on the pass ball in that first inning there. And it's been a pitching duel so far between Haley Cotter and Sammy Bradshaw. But things didn't go their way as well. So Central Methodist with the loss there, 19-5, 3-1 in the conference. Graceland 10-18, 3-1 in the conference. Central Graceland, they begin a big road trip there. I think an 8-game road trip. They'll start Clark on Saturday. Doubleheader starts at 1. Then next Sunday, they'll play Mount Mercy. Doubleheader starts at 12 noon. Then on April 2nd, they'll go to Marshall, take on Missouri Valley, 2 and 4 start time. Then on April the 5th, they'll play Culver Stockton, 1 o'clock and 3 p.m. And then 2 weeks from today, they'll be taking on Benedictine. Pre-game show, 12:45 p.m., 1 o'clock start time. And so next time you hear me broadcast is Saturday as the baseball team takes on William Penn there in a big 4-game series pre-game show at 12:45 p.m., 1 o'clock first pitch as well. Quentin Norris saying so long from the Cox Softball Complex. That's 6,754 of them. Good night, everyone.